Okay.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Would you still amaze me?
Welcome back to the PBC. It's your boy PB K9s giving it to you the way I always do. Fair, unbiased, raw, and uncut. Some gonna like it and some ain't. Hey, big salute and big shout out to all the brothers, sisters, and in between that's taking care of them pets across the world. Don't make no difference if you got dogs, cats, monkeys, reptiles, whatever you taking care of, man. Big shout out to you. Because like I always say, it ain't no easy job, but when you're a pet lover, you got to do it, And I'm going to go ahead and touch up on this right now, you know what I'm saying? Because we got that cold front that's hitting the country, man. I know it's hitting on the East Coast and down south. And we talking about extremely cold weather, man. Extremely cold weather. If you got them pets outside, try to make sure they comfortable as possible. You know what I'm saying? Not telling you to bring them in. Because the newsman might tell you, or the weatherman might tell you might need to bring them in, But if you're going to keep them outside, try to keep them as warm as possible. Put lining in their houses as far as hay or cedar chips or wood chips or however you do it. And just try to keep them warm, man. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to talk a little bit about a cockfighting situation that's been brought up in Louisiana. We'll speak a little bit about that, man. But like I always say, I hope everybody having a great day. And big shout out to everybody that's taking care of them pets across the world. So it's pretty cold around here. I don't know how it is where you stay at, but over here in South Carolina, we cold, brick cold. I looked at my my weather thing a few minutes ago, and it said, I want to say it said that we was in the 30s or the 40s, but it feels like 26, and that was a few hours ago. It said it feels like 26, and I haven't even checked it lately. Let me check it right now, matter of fact. Let me check it right now. Okay, right now it's saying it's 34 degrees actually, which is just maybe, I think freezing is 32, but it feels like 23, So we got to keep them pets warm outside, man. Make sure they got some, like I say, make sure they got some cedar chips, some hay, And this thing I want to bring up real quick as well. I looked up a while back. I haven't did this lately, but I looked up because I have a lot of straw around my house, pine straw, And you always wonder, can you rake that pine straw up and put it in your doghouse to keep them warm? And it may keep them warm, but this is the difference between pine straw or pine needles out the pine trees and the pine straw that you get from your feed store and stuff like that. It's a difference. Them pine needles, they don't absorb heat. The ones that come out the trees, and the ones that come out the trees, they may have liquid or some type of sap or some type of stuff that comes out of the needles that may irritate the dog. So and they don't soak up the water the way the pine straw do when you get it from your feed store. So don't be tricked by you see a bunch of pine needles on the ground, because there's a difference between needles and straw. As somebody who may not know, it may just hear, oh, they're pine needles, they might think they can go rake their same ones off the ground and put them in your doghouse and keep them just as warm. And it's not, because they don't insulate the heat. The ones from the pine trees, the needles from the pine trees don't insulate the heat the way the pine straw does that you get from your feed store. You just look at it like a straw. When they say pine straw, that's what you get, in a straw-shaped piece of pine. When you get it out the trees, those are needles. They don't, like I said, they don't take the heat. They don't absorb the water the same way. And they throw off chemicals that may be harmful to your dog. So let's just try not to go out the cheap way. Because when you go out the cheap way on a lot of things, you get cheap results. You know what I'm saying? Get cheap results, man. And it's too cold to be playing around out here. Too cold, man. So let's just try to keep them animals warm. Hopefully it'll warm up over the next few days or so and get back to a bearable, temperature where where a dog can manage or we can manage as well. Because I always say down south, it's funny down here, man, because we have a cold winter or we'll have a cold month, and then we'll have a regular month. Or to be a cold week, and then it'll go back and forth. Really back and forth. It might be in the 30s this week, and then next week it might be in the 60s. My partner down there in Florida talking about 70s and 80s. You know? So it go back and forth, man. It go back and forth. Not only is this the kind of weather that get you sick, but it'll trick you regardless. Especially if you got flowers and stuff. My brothers and sisters who deal with flowers, you might want to bring them in, because it's a little too cold out there for them flowers. Now, I want to say this, I haven't been dropping too many videos on my Big Dog Unchained channel, and I'm sot on this right here, what I'm about to say. I'm going to make that to my sports channel, man. I got a lot of things that we could talk about on sports. I don't want to be on my channel arguing with folk that no need to be arguing with you about. I don't want to have to talk all kind of trash. I'm going to give the dog news, and I'm going to keep it stepping. I don't care what you say about it or how you feel about it or whatever. The dog news going to be the dog news, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all brothers, you be getting in your feelings. You be getting all emotional because of what's really real in this dog game. You don't want to admit that blue dogs don't belong with grand champion yellow dogs. You don't want to admit that black and tan dogs don't belong with grand champion yellow dogs if you look at the pedigree. And I always say this, look at every single dog in the pedigree. You can't leave out one dog. You can't leave out one dog because that one dog can be the reason that dog has the willow peak eyebrows, has the black and tan color, or has whatever other colors that he had that don't look regular for a red boy Jocko dog or so. So when we look at them pedigrees, we have to judge every single dog from the top to the bottom, from the rooter to the tutor. And then if you see there's something that's not supposed to be there, then that's cool. That's cool. But if you look back there and you see something that can have them colors, you got to give way for possibility. You got to give way for possibility. Everything ain't bootleg. You know what I'm saying? Everything ain't bootleg, but the thing is, like brother say, stay vigilant. Keep your eyes open. You know what I'm saying? Keep your eyes open because you may just catch something that don't supposed to be there. Oh, this dog black or this dog brindle. Then you look at the whole pedigree, everything buckskin red, and then we can see all these buckskin red dogs all through the pedigree. And then when we get like say 65 to 75% through reading the pedigree, we saying, oh, that dog don't belong there, but we didn't go 100% reading that pedigree, and you got a little brindle dog down there or a black dog somewhere over there, and that's the reason that color may pop up. And even if it's wrong, even if it is a wrong pedigree, if you got them dogs in that pedigree, then I can't really argue about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not here to argue with any and every brother about what they dog bred like. I'm just here to give that dog talk and that dog knowledge and whatever knowledge I got and the dog news. You know what I'm saying? And common sense is what we're talking about when we're talking about these pedigrees and these colors. We're not going to go back 50, 60 years, 50 years to say, oh, this black showed up from this. You know what I'm saying? Or this brindle showed up from this. But if it's there, it's there. You know what I'm saying? Now, even with Bolio, if Bolio himself was a black dog or a brindle dog, then I would say, okay, yeah, some of this stuff could pop up in your dog, But with him being a red color dog, a brown color dog, whichever you want to call it, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard for me to say that these colors should be popping up. And y'all brothers get madder than fire. You get madder than fire when I tell you a lot of that stuff, a lot of the stuff in the dog game, it was a lot of racism behind a lot of stuff in the dog game throughout the years. You get mad when I say that and try to say, oh, I'm speaking this way. I'm giving you the facts, man. That's all I'm doing. I'm giving you the facts. I'm laying it out for you. Some people, like I say, some people don't want you to lay this shit out. They want the shit to be hidden from you, and they want it to be big you, little them, or big them, little you, forever, instead of being equal and everybody being on the same page. They want to keep you off track and make you feel like this is legitimate or this is straight. When I speak about putting the pictures on online pedigrees, that don't mean that I'm saying, oh, online pedigrees is the holy grail of the dog thing. Your papers is what matters at the end of the day. But when you got these dogs' colors on online ped, then it makes it easier for a brother to track where this stuff is coming from. That's all I'm saying. And I don't got time for the ignorance that's in this dog game, man. I'd rather talk about sports, different things. If we're going to argue, you ain't got no reason to call me no kind of names when we discussing sports, whether we disagree or agree with the topic. I can be talking about Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Joe Montana. I can say Joe Montana wasn't nothing on Aaron Rodgers, which we know that ain't true. No, I'm just giving you an example. But that don't mean when I say that, that's not gonna make you say, oh, F you Pelican Bay, you don't know shit, this and that, blah, 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 blah. You just a so and so and so and so and so. So because I say Joe Montana is not better than Aaron Rodgers, that's just my opinion. You know? Another brother may have an opinion and say Joe Montana. Nobody in the NFL can hold a candle to Joe Montana when it comes to the quarterback. Then other people might say nobody can hold a candle to Tom Brady, but that gives nobody the right to talk down to a brother, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about being in your feelings, no, none of that. It's about respecting folk out here. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying, give my show, every time I give my show, gotta argue with somebody about some bullshit that don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? A lot of, like I said before, a lot of y'all invested in bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It ain't my fault, dog. I'm just here to give that dog talk, give that dog news, and keep it stepping. Like I said, on the Big Dog Unchained, we'll get that together in a minute. You know what I'm saying? We'll get that together as far as the sports, because I'm almost to the point, man. I'm just gonna be talking about my dog training, how to take care of these dogs, and what to do with these dogs. I can care less about that fighting shit, because half of y'all ain't fighting, and the other half that's fighting, they taking 100 motherfuckers with them and getting mad when they get told about themselves. You know what I'm saying? You can call me all kind of names because I say you don't take 40 cars with you to the dog fight, but you ain't got shit to say to them people that took 40 cars with them to the dog fight. Oh yeah, if we had 100 people around a box back in the days, 100 people around a box back in the days is not 100 people around a box in 2026. Totally different. You know what I'm saying? We talking totally different. You can't compare the two. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it because the more we talk about it, the more ignorant shit that I see coming from a lot of these brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? More ignorant. When it comes to money, when it comes to getting that dollar out your pocket, these brothers want to keep you blinded. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep you blinded. A lot of y'all still dealing with DJ Dynamite, but you're going to learn before it's all over with. You're going to learn before it's all over when you're dealing with a dog man and when you're dealing with somebody that's trying to shit you for $1 out your pocket and trying to ride off of another person's name. You know what I'm saying? You'll see in a minute, man. You'll see in a minute. Big salute and big shout out to all them brothers with them walking all dogs out there looking good out there doing what they got to do, man. Make a name for your damn dog. Stop riding off of the name Walk 'em All. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that's a Walk 'em All dog. Let me like that dog before I even know what he's off of. Y'all want me to like the dog because he's a Walk 'em All dog. I want to like the dog because I like the dog, and now that I like the dog, oh, he's bred like this? Oh, man. You want me to look at the pedigree and fall in love with the dog. I'm not with that. And because I voiced my opinion on that, a lot of y'all getting y'all feelings. You know? And it just is what it is, man. Salute to everybody that's rocking with me down in that chat. Y'all hit that like button up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, man, this is the channel that's going to give it to you. And go subscribe to the Big Dog TV Unchained as well. Like I said, man, we're going to be talking about sports, boxing. And I got a topic I want to talk about on Big Dog Unchained that I know is going to draw some, some different opinions on this right here, man. It's a sports topic. But I'm going to start my first video off with this particular sports topic right here. And I know it's going to draw opinions from all different sides. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk about it right now because somebody else be done talking about it on their shit. You know? So when I give it to you, I'm going to give it to you, man. But just remember, I haven't stopped the channel. I just been going through some things over the past couple weeks, as well as being sick. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when, like I said, when your job is to speak to folk on this microphone, you know, being sick, being stuffy, being not feeling good at all, you know, you can't. It's not a good feeling. But what we're gonna do real quick is we're gonna go to Louisiana, where they trying to get this cockfighting thing legitimate because they saying the cockfighting can help the county, help the city. They charging. They talking about charging taxes and all kind of stuff on the cockfighting. And this is a real city council meeting, and these folk are serious. You know, they want to fight their cocks, and they willing to pay the tickets, pay the taxes on it, and all that type of stuff. I told y'all a lot of this stuff, America is about money. You know what I'm saying? But needless to say, let's get into the video because I don't want you to feel like I'm the one saying this. Let's get into the news. Louisiana, cockfighting issue, a cockfighting debate, legalize or leave it illegal. You know, it's only been, I think they said over the past several years, they made it illegal like 7 years ago or since 2000, the mid part of 2000 something, it became illegal in that area. You know, so let's go to the video, man, so you can hear it from these brothers and sisters on the video. PB K9s, let's get into it.
Tonight, the St. Landry Parish Council taking up a heated discussion on cockfighting. While it is illegal under state law, some parish leaders are hoping to change that and get an economic boost from rooster fighting revenue. This was the scene for hours tonight inside and then outside parish council chambers, an overflow crowd gathering to weigh in on the issue. The majority of those in attendance at tonight's meeting speaking out in favor of allowing cockfighting. The council tonight saying it will seek advice from the State Attorney General's office on how to proceed with efforts to try and legalize it in St. Landry Parish.
First Amendment, I have a right to self-determination, but that's taken away from me because I'm a cockfighter, self-determined, and my right of self-determination is taken away from me. If nothing else, we'll get our freedom back, and I'll get a chance to fight game chickens with my friends.
And News 15's Dracar Francois tonight takes a closer look at this controversial cockfighting proposal, which is drawing the ire of the Humane Society and other animal advocates.
Could St. Landry Parish bring back a controversial blood sport banned in Louisiana more than 15 years ago? That sport is cockfighting, seen here, video shot last year in Oklahoma. Parish President Jesse Bellard claims although there's a statewide and nationwide ban, cockfighting still happens in St. Landry Parish.
They're still fighting in the parish. You know, they're in the backwoods somewhere fighting. They admit to doing that. And if we're not going to enforce the law on these individuals and they're still going to be fighting these roosters, then why should we tax them?
This sport wasn't always banned. In fact, Bellard says decades ago, chicken fights were very popular in places like Sunset, where people from all over would visit the town and spend dollars, creating a taxing revenue for the parish. That sport was banned statewide in 2007, where animal rights groups want to keep it that way.
Personally, we think it's a terrible idea. It's outlawed and prohibited and criminalized for a reason.
Jeff Dorson with Humane Society of Louisiana believes exploiting animals should never happen. Wayne Pacelli with Animal Wellness Action says it goes beyond roosters.
Cockfighting is bound up with other criminal activity, not just illegal gambling, but money laundering, tax evasion, very often narcotics trafficking, and human-on-human violence.
Some council members wonder if it's possible to carve out an exception to the cockfighting ban for St. Landry Parish to spur economic growth. In Opelousas, I'm Dracar Francois for News 15.
And you just heard Parish President Jesse Bellard say even though cockfighting is illegal, it still goes on in his parish. And you're looking at the scene of what was a big cockfighting bust last year on Mushroom Road between Grand Coteau and Arnaville. 53-year-old Shannon Menard was jailed after numerous fighting age roosters were confiscated. And Louisiana, by the way, was the last state in the nation to ban cockfighting. That happened in 2008.
Yes, sir, man. I got the Red Boy Jocko Bolio puppies dropping right now. If you hear them in the background, I should have it. You know, you shouldn't be able to hear them, but just in case you can hear them, because I know puppies, their little voices, they get kind of loud. You know what I'm saying? They dropping right now. I couldn't imagine them puppies being outside in this weather right now, and the mama dog having the puppies. They wet, and they come out wet for the first 5 minutes. They good and wet. The mama got to lick them and all that. And it's so cold outside, man, that shit'll freeze them dogs instantly, man. Instantly. You know? So make sure the dog's warm outside if you got your dog outside tonight, over the weekend, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully it'll warm up, at least for us down here. A lot of my brothers up north, y'all used to that stuff. You know, but down here it's back and forth. Like I said, we not no 20 below, no -5 or 5 degrees or 10 degrees, and that's normal to us. Nah, man, that's too damn cold. You know what I'm saying? For anything to survive in being out there in a long period of time, unprotected. You know what I'm saying? You go out there without a coat on. You go out there without your winter gear on and just walk out there with it being 10 degrees and see what happened to you. You know? So make sure you keep them animals warm out there, man. And like I said, y'all stay safe. Y'all stay legal. I ain't gonna hold you up too long. I'm just here to get to the points, man. Here to get to the points. PB K9s, and I'm out.
It's a proven fact that the American Pit Bull Terrier is one of the most fascinating dogs worldwide. Maybe you've been thinking about bringing one into your family and need an in-depth look at the history, health, temperament, and lineage. This only means there's one book for you. The Pit Bull Encyclopedia is your one-stop shop when it comes to your furry friend or companion. Knowledge is the key to running a successful program, so make sure your pit bull is secured by having your very own copy of the Pit Bull Encyclopedia. Why are you still hesitating about something you can do today?